So the easy conclusion here, it's not rocket science. Somebody somewhere must be trying to cover up. That is the only conclusion and reason you can give. So I want to direct this so that we don't belabor on this. Kindly, Bwana CS, it was not just for formalities and that we called you and this statement was sought. Maybe you can tell us maybe how much time you need so that you up and give us a follow-up question, a satisfactory question that is convincing that justice is being done to this poor Kenyan. Kindly.
Mr. Chair, unlike many other cases, first of all, let me say that we need to appreciate that this was done expeditiously. For a file to leave DCI to DPP is not, it can show the goodwill in the first place, that the question of cover-up is not there. The desire for the DCI to make sure that someone is prosecuted was there. It's just that the DPP wants certain loose ends be tied together. And so the intention to prosecute this person is there. And I don't think there is room for cover-up, because what's all remaining is the ballistic report.
It's very crucial.
Which is very crucial, and it's not going anywhere because you can't hide anymore. There's nothing to hide. You have the spent cartridges, you have the process being undertaken by DCI. I also want to confirm that I visited DCI when I became CS in this ministry like 2 months ago. Yes, February. Mr. Chair, you need to really still support the lab. The lab requires a lot of resources, not just the fiscal resources we're giving, not just the money to buy a lot of the laboratory equipment, but you also need retention of human resource so that they can be able to retain human resource at a certain level. You also know that we have so many cases involving guns across the country. So there's a long line of ballistic analysis on different crimes, banditry, robberies, and so forth across the country. And so this is part of it, of the process. So, and sometimes each one of them is urgent. All of them are urgent. The magistrate is demanding the report to be presented in this. The DPP is demanding a report. So I can give assurance to the public that in the fullness of time, this person will be charged. There is no escape route. Somebody somewhere will be charged. The same way I gave the same undertaking on the case of Nakuru, which was also involving KWS. Maybe at some point, we need to perhaps have a meeting with the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, and particularly DG KWS, on disciplinary cases involving a number of the officers in KWS, not just in that area, but across, and how best that can be handled. You know, for the police, we have the internal mechanism within the police, and we have IPOA. So how do we handle the KWS? Do they have a mechanism internally to be able to deal with these officers? Do they even have processes of suspending these people until their case is concluded? So even if they have not been charged, they should be able to take internal disciplinary measures until you can prove that the specific officer was involved. Like every other Kenyan, it concerns me that 23 people went to arrest one person. There is no evidence that that person was armed with a gun, and that eventually, you know, you had to use a gun for 23 people against one person. I think it's an armed individual. So in the presence of his family, I think it is a matter of justice, and we must be able to follow this issue to the ultimate conclusion. So, Mr. Chair, maybe in our next session, you can prompt me, even if it is on different issues, we can be, by that time, we should see how far we have gone. I do not also wish to, because the police and the DCI operates independently, and I cannot direct them, I do not also wish to give an undertaking that in 1 month it will be done. But using our good officers, we must be able to facilitate and push them to do so. But what we will not allow is a situation where there will be cover-up in the end.
So do we say, fair to say, in good time?
Why don't we revisit this issue again in another 3 months and say in 3 months we can give an update as to how far we've gone, and maybe at that point in time we can come with the DCI himself so that he can also express some of the challenges he's facing. But hopefully in those 3 months, both the case of Nakuru and the one for Tana River will have gone to court, because you can see also DPP was dissatisfied on certain issues. At some point, it will leave the DCI, it will go to the DPP and to make a judgment on the prosecution.
Anyway, while on that, so that I give Wario or Liz, you know, you raise a very, very pertinent question on definitely the role of the IPOA vis-a-vis the issue of game rangers and other gun holders. Of course, their mandate is very limited to the police. And I think it's a conversation. I remember there is a bill being proposed by, I think, Senator for Bomet or something like that. Try to expound the mandate of the IPOA to include the game rangers. Because even these rangers in the game reserves by the counties, I remember the CS, our very good CS here, we went to Narok to launch these rangers to be NPR. And they have got very sophisticated guns. And at times, the regulations on how these guns are controlled is not very good by CS. And it's good to admit that. You can even able to do an investigation. They don't report to our police command. And at times, these gun holders, including the game rangers, they become a militia of governors. In fact, in my own county, it is almost akin to that. It's an issue that we may bring to attention very soon. They don't report to any command of the police. They just become a militia of a governor. Of course, I'm also interested to be one, but I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. So I think because it's not a subject of the day, it's an issue that we are considering as a committee, really to have an engagement with the ministry on how we are going to farm up the loose end on the issue of these guns. So let's go really just a minute and Wario, so that we close this and go to the next. Yes.
And I really want to thank him because the other day he was in Nakuru, he was able to speak to the parents. But I'm happy that, again, he has repeated that he is going to bring all these reports in 3 months. But CS, it is so scaring to discover that the people who are supposed to protect the lives of the people are the ones killing these innocent people. And what I want to ask to this member of this committee as a leader from Nakuru, if somebody is found to be having maybe he has done some mistake, I don't think it is right for the security people to kill instead of arresting and taking them to court instead of killing. It's a concern and it's really bringing a lot of problems everywhere. As parents, we cannot allow this. As leaders, we cannot allow this. But I want to thank you because you've committed yourself that in 3 months you'll bring a report that will speak on Honorable Warriors and the Nakuru matter that concerns the AWS and Kenya Forest Service, where 2 people lost their lives and parents are still waiting for the reports. Thank you.
So you want to talk about it?
Yes,
the killing. Then we give
thank you, Chair, for the purposes of record. Member of Parliament for the constituency. Chair, I think KWS has been spot on killing innocent people. A case in point is where KWS sprayed bullets using an helicopter in Turkana, in Lake Turkana. Members of Parliament for those particular constituencies, especially Turkana North and Turkana Central, raised us even in this committee, and efforts to reach even the DG for KWS has been futile. And that case came way back, like somewhere in February. And that case, nobody has followed. So KWS has gone